Welcome to the Darkstream. Voxday, voxday.blogspot.com, Infogalactic, Alt Hero, etc. Thanks for stopping by. I haven't been doing these dark streams lately, mostly because I've been extremely busy, and frankly, I didn't want to be doing this stuff until I get Cuckservative properly in operation and so forth. Just really didn't seem right. And frankly, I honestly haven't had the time. Couple things. A number of you have some emails into me for Alt Hero. You wanted to add on to your stuff. I will be getting to that reasonably soon. Hopefully this week, maybe even some of them tonight. I mean, to be honest, I haven't. There's nothing pressing about it. You know, it doesn't. It makes absolute. I mean, other than obviously you want confirmation and so forth, but just assume it, okay? Everybody who sent me an email saying I want, hardcovers instead of paperbacks or whatever, you're going to get them. It's all, we've got it all saved and everything, but it takes time to go into the database and make all the changes and all that sort of thing. And frankly, that's just not important right now. What's important is the kind of stuff that we've actually been working on, which is actually moving towards getting the stuff produced, and also towards working with our printer and our distribution channel in order to make it possible to disrupt the industry the way that we plan to do. What I mean by that is, we needed to learn a lot of stuff that we didn't know about the channel, about the discounts in the channel, all this kind of stuff. Like, for example, how many of you know exactly what wholesale discount you have to give to the distributor in order to make sure that they can give the amount that the stores expect? Well, that information is not out there. It's not on the internet. You have to go into a very large company and talk to the right people and get them to trust you enough that they're willing to share that information with you. So anyhow, that's what I've been working on. And so what I'm happy to say is that today we had a great meeting, and I can confirm that we are going to be able to do everything we wanted to do and hit our price point on the little 24-page comics, which you may recall we didn't even plan to do during the Alt Hero campaign. This was just something that occurred to me after the campaign ended, and I thought, hey, instead of just selling through our regular channel, if we could figure out a way to produce 24 to 26 page comic stuff, then we can basically get that stuff out there to serve as free marketing. And we're not going to make any money on that stuff. We're not trying to make any money on that. So that's what what we're working on right now is strategic and operational stuff. And so the tactical stuff, making sure that every backer, gets confirmation that they're going to get what they want and all that sort of stuff. We'll get to that. But, it doesn't do much good. It doesn't do us any good to just reassure people and hold their hands a little bit if we neglect this other stuff. Now, obviously, ideally, you do it all, but, you know, sometimes that's not possible. I mean, that's why, you know, one of the many reasons why I didn't get a Sea of Skulls extended edition done before Christmas. Just wasn't happening. Too much stuff. And, you know, the other thing, I have to be honest, I'm a bit psychologically, spiritually, whatever you want to call it, drained. We're going to be releasing a book probably next week. And it's a book called The Last Closet, and it's by the daughter of Marion Zimmer Bradley. And it is, you know, it's not a fun read. It's an important read. It's a very important book. But, you know, the proofreaders, were just, one of them couldn't do it. And, you know, it was, it's not at all pleasant to have to, I mean, it's bad enough to read it, but, you know, when you're editing stuff, you can't just gloss over stuff. You have to get in deep with the material. And, you know, it's just gruesome, to be honest. And, you know, especially when you have to sit there and work with the author to nail down specific details that, you know, maybe they didn't really want to talk about, but, you know, it's important to say, so-and-so did X. So-and-so did Y. And to state it very clearly, and to make sure that nobody has a chance to claim, well, you know, they may have implied this, or they may have suggested this, and all that sort of thing. And, you know, again, the perpetrators escape and are covered for, and all that sort of thing. And so, you know, this book is coming out at the right time. I mean, you know what's coming. I mean, just today, it came out that Corey Feldman was telling the truth, that he did go to the police, he did testify to them, and, you know, they lost the information he gave them. You know, oh, the recording is just turned up, you know, as part of the Michael Jackson case. You know, so, I mean, it sounds to me like they tried to bury it. You know, oh, he mentioned Michael Jackson, so we won't have any case about him. We'll just, like, slip those recordings over there because, you know, they don't want to, like, get, you know, no one wants to get caught being responsible for deleting them. So they go and bury it in some other case. So, anyhow, I mean, the thing, you know, one thing that I've learned from editing this book is that the evil is unmitigated. The evil is self-aware. You know, I mean, it's you know, it's the way these things are tend to be portrayed. It tends to be, you know, well, oh, you know, there's this excuse, or, you know, there's that excuse, whatever, and you know, and there's an element of truth to that. But then when you read about how a man will spend hours at a science fiction convention playing with a toy that, and doing it for hours, just hoping and waiting for some boy to come along and ask him what he's doing so that he can start the whole grooming process. You know, I mean, it's like reading a description of a fisherman. And so, there's no excuse for it. There's no possible excuse for it. It's not the kind of thing, when you see these attempts to normalize pedophilia on Salon, and you see these people trying to cover for this shit. There's a reason why they try to keep it buried and covered, and why they work so hard to cover it up. Because no one who has to look and confront that stuff beyond a certain point is ever going to cut them any slack. Ever. It's one of those things where, I don't know. It's one of those things where you just say, God will have to forgive you because no man ever will. Only those who reject good and evil can even contemplate it being around. So, anyhow, so that's what I've been doing. So, also, I'm behind schedule on Voxversity. It is happening. We're working on it. It's going to be out. It's going to be good. And so, I appreciate your support. I appreciate your patience. We are going to deliver what we promised. We are going to deliver better quality than you're expecting. That's what we're working towards. And so, anyhow, but I just, because I got a few emails saying, hey, what's going on, and this sort of thing, I just thought, okay, a lot of people are probably wondering. And so, especially with the fact that I'm stepping away from Alpha Game, I've got someone who's going to be stepping in and taking that over. I knew people would be wondering. There's nothing, everything's actually going very well. Castelia is doing better than ever. Another we've already had, we already had a record year in October. So, anyhow, and we've got some of our games are getting finished up. Helvetica, Skyraider, Game Brain, all this stuff. A lot of this stuff is coming together. It's just not necessarily all getting finished. All getting finished quite as quickly as we'd like. So that's what's going on. We've also been working hard at getting some of these books out. Appendix N. We're getting the audiobook out very soon. We just submitted The Promethean by Owen Stanley. And we just got Law Dog Files African Adventures out in paperback. And as you may have noticed, although I haven't really talked about it at all, SJW's Always Double Down is on the top of the political philosophy category again. Take that, Stefan Molyneux. Hitler in Hell we're still working on. We're going to get that out probably, I would guess, in the February timeframe. And then in January, we're going to start. I'm going to put out a call for people, for authors to get There Will Be War Volume 11 going. So there's a lot going on. It's going well, but please be patient. And we will get these things done methodically, one at a time, one after the other. And we'll be in touch. In the meantime, until the next Darkstream, please stop by the blog. Have a good evening.